Hi, I'm Tameika Devine. I'm a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, and a city councilwoman.
Hello, I'm Jamie Devine, a husband, a father, and a community champion. I've been married to my wife Tameika for over 15 years.
Join us as we interview some of our favorite couples, hear their stories, and be inspired.
The secret to our successful marriage is that we are very intentional about our date nights.
Marriage is a partnership.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Hi, I'm Tameika.
And
we are the
Devines.
And thank you for watching Date Night with the Devines, and welcome. For those of you who might be tuning in for the very first time, we appreciate you tuning in. Date Night with the Devines is our opportunity to just bring you people that we love and admire. You know, Jamie and I, we are both elected officials, professionals, and over the course of our marriage, people have always said, you know, wow, Tameika and Jamie, we love watching you guys. Your love and your marriage inspires us. And so it made us think about, you know, well, who inspires us? And so we wanted to use this platform as an opportunity to introduce you to couples that inspire us. And so tonight we are excited to have some really, really good friends. Jamie, you want to introduce our guests?
Sure, because these are great friends of ours. And so tonight we have with us Veronica and Luis Rodriguez, who are here with us. Been married for 42 years. So yay, congratulations. So I think it's our second longest couple that we've had, been married this long on the show. So again, thank you all for coming. Just a little bit about our couple tonight. We have Veronica Rodriguez, who is a graduate. They're both graduates of the University of Georgia. Veronica has been in banking for over 30 years. She previously served as bank officer for NBSC and executive officer and founder of Sumter National Bank, and also started Community Assistance Provider, CAP, as president CEO. For how long was Veronica? I guess you served 2002 to 2015, so that is about
13 years.
13 years. So
13 years.
Yay for you. And then we have Luis, who is also a graduate of the University of Georgia, also degrees in agriculture and has a master's in HR management. Formerly worked for Campbell Soup in Sumter for about 13-14 years. Now serves as president CEO of Santee Lynch's Community Housing Development Corporation. Did I get all that right?
Santee Lynch's Affordable Housing and Community Development Corporation.
My man, there you go. That's right. There you go. Help us out. So he was on the board for about 2 years, and after 2 years, he transitioned to be the president CEO since 1997 and has been serving in that capacity for the last 22 years. And they are proud parents of 5 adult children, 8 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. So welcome, y'all, to Date Night with the Devines. And as we always start off with all of our guests. So who wants to go first? How did y'all meet?
I will do the honors.
Right.
Luis and I, of course, went to University of Georgia, and we were at a party the beginning of the school year in 1973 or so.
All right.
And a girlfriend, a bunch of us were sitting around, the girlfriend said to me, come on over, I want you to meet a homeboy, because she was from New York and he was from New York. That was really awesome. She knew about it. But I remember a bunch of us stood up and walked over and stood in line to meet him.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, okay. But the next day, I was standing outside math building waiting to go in class, and I saw him. And I waved, hi. Well, he came over, invited me out to lunch, and we had a wonderful time, and we've been together ever since. But the kicker of the story is, I always thought all those years that he remembered me from that night before. 2 weeks ago, we've been married 42 years. Right. 2 weeks ago, we were taking one of our famous rides. We like to ride and talk. And he happened to say, you know, I really didn't remember you from the night before. So I thought about it for a moment, and then I went, he thought I was coming on to him when I waved. I was just waving because I met him the night before. Right. So my story is we met on a Saturday night. Right. His story is we met on Monday and that I initiated it.
Well, this is the man.
So that's your story?
Southern women are the best.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
So she was being forward.
I was being forward. Southern women are not
friendly.
Forward.
It was friendly, and she was attractive, and we both had a little time to have lunch. So I took her to Red Lobster. She said if I had taken her to Crystal Burger, it would have been the end of that. But we went to Red Lobster and had a nice meal.
Yeah, we college students. We had lived on Crystals.
Yeah.
Red Lobster was
Yeah.
impressive in college.
Oh yeah, still is.
Still is. Nice place to go. Absolutely.
That was expensive.
So that is wonderful. So, so as Jamie said, y'all been married 42 years. So when you guys got married, Luis already had children, and then y'all have children together, and you also have foster kids. And so I just love that because y'all have a blended family. You have children together. You have foster children, and they're all your children. You don't, they're not segmented. But what I think is so wonderful about that is, families are coming every single shape, size,
Right.
and I think people think it has to be this way. So kind of tell us about kind of the children, and especially having foster kids, because I think it's so amazing for particularly African American families to be foster parents. So kind of share with us that.
Well, we had an opportunity to bring some kids into our lives that really blessed us. And in addition to the children that we brought into our lives, my sister and Veronica's godson, they thought Sumter was a great place to be in the summer. So we had a bunch of kids down there. I was doing veterinary work for Campbell Soup Company, so I had a pickup truck. We could go out to chicken houses that housed 20,000 chickens at a time. We could go out to turkey fields. So the kids really enjoyed that, and they spent a lot of summers with us. Our family members that enjoyed coming down.
Sometimes we'd have 10 kids during the summer.
Wow.
And they really, our foster kids and our stepchildren did fine with all of that, and it blessed us. We helped them out, but now they're more of a blessing to us because they're helping us out. Two of my children were at the house turning the sprinkler system off yesterday, so it wouldn't freeze this winter.
Right. That's all right.
So it's coming back to us.
It is.
And then having all those children have been able to bless you, having grandchildren and great grandchildren. Y'all are too young to have great grandchildren.
That's what I said too.
It's always a shock to me when I say it to people. I have 3 great grandchildren. But we do. And all of our kids have really been a blessing. We've been fortunate enough to have strong, healthy, professional kids. They all work hard and take good care of themselves, and that is a blessing as well. Sumter was, I balked because you have to keep in mind I married a man from New York City, so I thought I was going, to the big city.
Right.
Did it not occur to me that he's an agriculture major? He moved me to Sumter, South Carolina. But it really was a wonderful place to raise our kids. They were happy, healthy, and never got into any real trouble. And I became the local banker, and he flourished with Campbell Soup, and it was really, really nice. We've had our ups and downs. Every family has challenges, and your children have challenges. But by and large, it's been really wonderful, and our kids are good kids and good people.
That's great. So kind of speaking about challenges, so one of the reasons we love this is because we also learn things about people that we've known for years, but also what we really want is for our audience to learn something, lessons learned about marriage and love. Especially now, day and age, people just think marriage is easy, or think that, this is the way it should be. And if something doesn't come out the way they planned or they expected, they're just thinking that, that's not it.
I'm out.
And when we get married, we take vows, for better, for worse, for sickness and health, rich, poor, till death do us part. And you guys, I guess early on in your marriage, Luis had a car accident. Or an accident? Can you share with us kind of that accident and that transition? And then, what did that experience teach you about yourselves and your marriage?
Well, I had an accident in my truck coming back from a college basketball game. I was a basketball referee, and I wound up falling asleep behind the wheel by myself, so I didn't hurt anybody, just wound up in the ditch, and that left me paralyzed from the waist down. And it was a big change for everyone, but I've always been an athlete. And my point of view is that I'm the best one in my family to deal with this situation. So right now, I still go to work every day. I do grocery shopping when I need to. I do a little cooking when I need to, and I do dishes when she forces me to. So, I can do a lot, and I've taken it as a challenge to myself, and I'm glad it didn't happen to anyone else in my family, because they might not have been as prepared as I was at the time. And until recently, I've been fairly physically fit, but it's it's growing. Things are growing on me now.
I guess.
So it put a lot of big burden on my wife and my children. My daughter Andy was about 8 years old when that happened. Our youngest child, and so they had to carry that and stay strong and all that.
It certainly was a challenge. And Luis is modest. He does everything. He can do everything. He still commutes to Sumter at least 3 days a week. That's 50 miles one way. When he gets up, I get up, because if he can do that, I can do it.
That's right.
But there was a statistic that when one partner has a traumatic accident, in 86% of the time, the marriage fails.
Wow.
And I just never considered that. He's the person that I love. He's my partner. He would be there for me no matter what. I could not imagine leaving him at that time. It just wasn't a consideration. When I heard the statistics, I went, okay, all right. But what we decided early on in the hospital, he was at Shepherd Spinal Center in Atlanta, so we had a lot of time to talk and look at other people, and there were other people there who were ill, and we said, okay, let's make the best of what this is. And that's what we've done every day. He certainly has, and I have tried to as well. And he's a blessing. He is a blessing in my life, and I just thank God that I never was stupid enough to think, okay, well, I don't want to be with you anymore because you've had an accident.
Right.
But did that teach you anything about you in your strength and your commitment to weather the storm?
Well, I learned, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but I did learn something about myself. I learned that I can do almost anything if I really understand it. So when something like this happens, the doctors tell you a lot about, it's an incomplete break in the spine, and this could happen and that could happen, and there's this treatment and that treatment. And I finally cornered a doctor one day and I said, tell me what you think the future holds for my husband as far as walking. And he says, Ms. Rodriguez, I don't think your husband will walk again. I said, I can do that. I can cope with that. If I know that, if I know not to continue to hope every single day, but to be faithful, because God is in charge.
That's right.
But Luis worked hard to gain lots of strength and to keep his mobility, and he's done that. He hasn't gained the ability to walk, but he can do lots and lots of things. As I said, do virtually everything. So, knowing that I could cope, I saw some strength in me that I did not know I had. And I mustered that up, and it made a big difference. You have to be strong for your children too. So what do you do? What do you tell your children? And what kind of example do you show them?
Yes.
What did you tell your children? Well, I mean, what did you share with them?
He shared with them that, Poppy has, had an accident, has broken his back. I won't be able to walk, but I'm going to try, and I'm going to keep trying. And he did lots of exercises all over Sumter. We'd walk the mall and all sorts of things. He was fit. He was a fit person. As he said, he was an athlete at that time. This happened after coming home from officiating a college basketball game. So he was extremely healthy and fit. So we told our children that we love each other and we love them, and we are a family, and we are a strong family, and this is going to be okay.
That's right.
And they believed us.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, and we bought a house with an Olympic-sized pool.
Okay.
And I could get in and out of the pool by myself. using the swimming board and the edge of the pool. So I boost in and boost out with my jacket on.
Yeah.
And, I played with them, and they'd come home from school and see me in the pool and come join me.
Okay.
So, we just let them know that this doesn't stop life.
That's
it
right.
just gives
That's
them
right.
perspective.
To make it as normal as possible for them.
Yeah.
Right. So Veronica talked a little bit about some of the strengths, some of the things that she learned. What did you learn through this accident about you? What strengths did you know that you had, maybe that you didn't see prior to the accident? Anything?
Well, I learned that, life comes in many forms. And you just have to keep living it with the cards you had.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a great life. And we've had a great life.
Right.
Play the card you dealt, huh?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you do. But you do that together because we're stronger together.
That's it.
We are stronger together. Don't know where we'd be without each other.
Right.
We make a good team. We are complete opposites.
Right.
He's
yeah.
he's an introvert.
We don't have things in common.
He's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. I like for people to come over and talk and to have company all the time and that sort of thing. He likes to be home. He's a saver. I'm a spender. But we love each other and we balance each other out because he cares about what's important to me. So we can do the things I need to do, and I care about what's important to him, which is that the family is stable and that we don't starve. Right. So we balance each other out in that way, but that's because of the caring and the friendship.
Right.
Because we are very different people.
Yeah. And the 3-year rule.
What's the 3-year rule?
What is the 3-year rule?
The 3-year rule says that if you have a dispute or you're annoyed by something, if it's not going to matter in 3 years, get over it. Don't spend time lingering on it because life is made up of moments, and each moment that you spend on sad stuff, you're not enjoying life. So if you're going to be there in 3 years, forget about it.
Right.
And we devoted that one yet.
Well, we have lots of rules. When you've been married 42 years, you have a lot of rules. But we thought about a lot of these things really before we were married. We also have a 51% rule. You hear people say marriage is 50-50 and we're going to do things 50. Well, nothing's 50-50. There's going to come a time when you're going to strongly disagree with what she says, or she's going to strongly disagree with what you says. Right. We agreed that I had 49% and he has 51%. Okay. Now, the thing that makes that work is that he is very kind and judicious. He has put his foot down about something maybe 3 times in our entire marriage. And it was generally he's been right. It's always been something like, don't know, we're not going to buy that car right now, or we're not going to buy that house right now. And he's been right because he's the saver, as we said. But he doesn't use that 51% like an iron rod. No, I'm in charge. I think you have to be kind with each other. And if you love each other, you can be kind to each other. He wants the best for me, and I know that, and I want the best for him.
Wow. So I love the opposites and stuff. So when we get back from break, we're going to talk about that because I think a lot of people feel like, well, we're different and that can't work. And y'all obviously have made it work. And so I want to talk about that before when we get back from break. But now we do have to take a break. I want to thank our sponsors because without them, we could not bring you this show. And so thank you to Isaac Insurance Agency, State Farm, to Style by Nada, John T. Elliott, Professional Hair Design, Dr. Macy Smith. We've got Visions Made Plain, Darren Murphy, who is our videographer and producer for this show, Boston First Administrative Management Services, the Possibilities Institute, which is me, my coaching and consulting and public speaking firm. Yay, me. And Jabber and Isaac Law Firm. And today we are so excited because we are here. Our venue sponsor for tonight's show is the Gold Den, a new restaurant which is on Two Notch Road. We're off of Two Notch Road, 110 Columbia Northeast Drive, Suite I, the Gold Den. GOLDDEN, and you can check out their menu on the website, which is www.golden.com. The owners, Nada Rutherford and Raquel Richardson Thomas, are amazing. This place is amazing. The food is amazing, and you got to check it out. So when we come back, we will get started again with our guests, but check out and support our sponsors, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Joy
Councilwoman Tameika Isaacs Devine, first African-American woman elected to the Columbia City Council.
Committed. She is very committed to the improvement of our community.
Bold in that she's willing to talk about difficult issues.
Not only is she a leader in her community, she's a leader in her sorority. She's an excellent example of what leadership is.
I'd go anywhere, anytime to do anything for Tameika Isaac Devine.
Vision made plain. We have whatever you need. Video, branding, photography, social media. Turning vision into reality.
And welcome back with Date Night with the Devines. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm Tameika.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are the
Devines.
I messed that part up, but anyway.
All right. You can mess it up.
Thank you, sweetie. So anyway, before we went to break, we are here tonight with Luis and Veronica Rodriguez. And before we went to break, guys, we were talking about y'all were mentioning y'all are pretty much opposites in that, you know, you're a saver, you're a spender, you're an introvert, you're an extrovert. And they say opposites attract. But I don't think people realize with longevity of marriage how having those differences, you have to make sure that they work together and they complement each other. So I'd love to kind of hear about how y'all have not negotiated, but I guess how have y'all worked through the differences and allowed that to be an opportunity to complement each other and be married for 42 years.
Well, you have to be kind, as Veronica has mentioned, but we just got back from our honeymoon about 2 weeks ago. And the reason that we had a delayed honeymoon was that Veronica is a planner. Right. So when we were married, she asked that I take her to a place called Helen, Georgia. And being from New York, I didn't know much about the state of Georgia. But I got a map, and that was before the internet and all of that. That's right. So we were going to go up to this place, Helen, Georgia. And I didn't have much money. She didn't know that then. But 23-year-old me couldn't have handled Helen, Georgia, taking her out to eat and treating her like I wanted to treat her. However, it started snowing. So we were going up to Helen, Georgia, which is in the mountain top. Right. And it started to snow, and I pulled up. I said, no, we're going to pull in right here just in case it gets worse. Right. And we stayed in a motel with a Dairy Queen across the street, and Super Bowl 11 was on TV. Okay. So we had a very nice time there. My bride didn't complain. Outwardly, I didn't know about that. But, That's right. I know her girlfriends had all heard about it. But
I don't know where he took me.
This past October is her birthday is in October, and we always like to go to the mountains over in toward the Cherokee, North Carolina area to watch the leaves change and stuff. Right. So I surprised her. I said, after your birthday, it was a Wednesday night, we had a family dinner. I said, I'm taking you somewhere Thursday, so don't make any plans for Thursday. And I took a roundabout way, didn't go through Georgia. I went through Greenville and Spartanburg to get to Helen, Georgia. So she figured it out about 5 minutes before we got there.
Oh, wow. Finally made it to Helen, Georgia. So I'm there, and I am telling people, 42 years. It took 42 years for me to get this honeymoon and to be here in Helen, Georgia. But it was just such a sweet thought and to surprise me. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. Right. He's nice, but that was really, really thoughtful after all that time. I didn't think I'd ever get there, and it really is a lovely place. So that was very, very nice.
And I made all the arrangements, and we had nice dinners, and you know, this is stuff that she would normally handle. So
right.
She was amazed. That's right. After 42 years, I still got a few tricks.
Come on now. That's right.
He went to the right hotel and good restaurants. He did a good job, and yes, I do.
So you rubbed off on
take care of all of that. I have rubbed off on the details of a good trip. I've rubbed off on him. But you alluded to finances, and you know, we had $18 when we got back from our honeymoon, and not quotes, it was a honeymoon.
When we were
But we
23.
did when we were 23.
That's right.
$18 and the promise of a job. And this gentleman that Luis was going to work with decided he wasn't going to hire. And I had gotten, after University of Georgia, we moved back to Augusta. I'd gone back to Augusta, and I was working in a bank. So we had very little money. Luis came home one day. We were staying with my grandmother. And this was maybe a month or less.
Right.
And he came home one day and said, I bought a house, get your pocketbook. Who does that? Who does that? I said, what do you mean you bought a house? And he said, I said, well, we need furniture. No, it's furnished. Well, what about beds? And no, it has everything. I said, well, I'm not sleeping on anybody else's sheets, so you have to take me some. So we stopped at Kmart and got some sheets. And he took me to this house that he had bought from a gentleman that he worked with who he and his wife had to move to Arizona for their health, and the guy just wanted somebody to take over the payments. It was $300 a month.
Wow.
So that's how we got our first house.
Wow.
But we also kept that house for 30 years and sold it in time to send a kid to college.
Wow.
So we have been thrifty on his side, but we've also lived on my side.
Right.
So that's that balance.
Right.
And over the years, he has seen that doing lots of things and taking trips and taking our children places has value and is wonderful. And it's more wonderful than having that money in the bank.
Right.
And I've also learned that there comes a time when you do need to have money in the bank, so be sure you've saved something.
right.
So
That's right.
we have truly balanced each other out.
And I didn't know you couldn't buy a house without your spouse seeing it. A house is a house. I gotta get out of grandma's house,
Right.
have our own life.
That's it. Wow.
That's the New Yorker.
That's okay.
He became a Southerner. Eventually, we said we gave him the Southerner card, but
Did he? Okay, good.
he was certainly a New Yorker.
He earned that?
all of that time. He has smoothed out over the years
Okay.
and become much more subtle in the way he does things.
Very good, very good. Well, listen, so I like to just talk with you, couples, about if you could give your younger Veronica, your younger Luis, and just younger people in general who are just getting married. We just celebrated two of our friends just got married, a year or two ago. The Hamiltons, the Grants and the Johnsons. And so, what advice or what words of wisdom would you give to young Veronica and younger Luis, and just the younger people in general when it comes to being married? Just what's that longevity? What's that commitment like? Because y'all have 42 years. That's a great thing, and so we want to make sure that we share that with other people as they hear tonight.
Yeah, and it's 42 good years.
All right.
We're still into it.
We
You know
are.
what I mean?
Yeah, y'all still honeymooning.
There you go.
Well, I would say that, you can't be too quick to throw the towel in. Things are going to get rough. There'll be hard times. And as long as you have the right person with you, you have to work through it. And sometimes that right person might be the problem. But, they're not like that all the time. You just work through those situations and come out on the other side and live to fight another day.
There you go. That's good.
I would say to young people, the relationship and your lives are about the two of you. Children are great and they're there, but you have to maintain your actual marriage. People become empty nesters and they don't know each other. We have fought very hard to continue to communicate with each other. And communication is key. There have been times when people have said one thing to him, something else to us. Well, you don't get away with that for more than 24 hours because we
Right.
talk. We talk all the time. We talk all the time about virtually everything. So I think communicating is the thing, and remembering that the marriage is like your little baby that you have to keep healthy and strong and work on it. You really do.
Wow. So tell me this. So then, I got to add a little biblical perspective to this whole thing. So somewhere in the Bible it talks about being equally yoked, and we sort of kind of talked about it when we talked about opposites attract and just being together. What do you see, or what would you again tell maybe a young people if you meet somebody who's not quite what you think they may be today, but they may have potential, because Tameika always says, I saw the potential in you. And I said, okay, thank you very much. And I think it's paying off, or paid off. And so what would you say to someone who may say, okay, you're not equally yoked, if you will, according to the Bible standard? And I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, you're not equally yoked right now. But it could turn out that you will become equally yoked, and some of your yoke might rub off on me, and some of my yoke might rub off on you. So we're not equally yoked right now, but we love each other. We want to be together. We want to, continue to love each other. So let's give it a whirl.
It's not a mathematical equation, that business of being equally yoked. You can't put math to it. There are he has many, many facets and qualities that complement me. And I hope I have some as well. It's not about money. It's about the ways that we can support each other. I lift him up when he needs it, and he certainly lifts me up whenever I need it.
Oh, and I have another thought on that.
Yeah.
You really have to, in your mind, build your partner up all the time. She's the best thing walking around here.
That's right.
And I do that constantly. And when I see her, my heart smiles.
That's it.
Isn't that nice?
Do you get nervous when you see her? just jittery, kind of, not nervous, but jittery when you see her?
Yeah, I have to control myself a little bit.
Still get butterflies.
We talk about wanting to share things with each other. Luis is fond of saying sometimes he'll see something and he'll think to himself, I wish Veronica was here to see that. And that's, we really like to share with each other. And that's when you know you love someone. You want them to experience the fun that you experience, or the joy that you experience. You want them to be with you, because without them being there, it's kind of,
It's not as exciting.
how am I going to tell him about that? I can't put that into words. He needs to be here. So, and the other thing that I tell people, and I won't be much longer, there is a they in the world. Don't think about what they think. Other people think of you for about 2 minutes, and then they go back to tending to their lives as you should be tending to your life.
And that's a word. That's definitely a word.
Something that you said, Jamie, I'd like to piggyback on. I actually applaud sometimes when she comes in the room.
Oh, do you?
Too far.
Wait a minute.
Okay, don't share that.
Well, we just thank y'all so much for coming tonight and sharing your story. You certainly have been an inspiration to us for many years, but you've blessed us tonight with some great advice, and I know have blessed our audience as well. So we thank you so much.
Thank you. This is a great program that you have going. I think it's helping quite a number of people.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And definitely thank you guys. That will complete tonight's episode of Date Night with the Devines. But if you like this program and if you like this show, please continue to watch. Tell others about it and share it, because that is the only way we're going to be able to keep this going. I think 2019 has been an amazing year, and we have a lot of great guests that we're going to be looking forward to bringing you in 2020 as well. So again, I want to thank our sponsors who have been there from day one with us. We've had the same sponsor since January, and we are so grateful and thankful for their belief in us and the programming we want to bring you. So thank you again to Isaac Insurance Agency, State Farm, to Jabber and Isaac Law Firm, the Possibilities Institute, Styled by Nada, John T. Elliott Professional Hair Design, Boston First Administrative Management Services, Dr. Macy Smith, and of course, Visions Made Plain, Darren Murphy. And again, I cannot thank enough our venue sponsor for tonight, the Golden. Yes. We please ask you to support these amazing young ladies who have this great venue. It is open for private parties. It's open for dinner. They have a great Sunday brunch with bottomless mimosas. So check that out. But continue to support our sponsors and our venue sponsors because, again, they make this show happen. Always remember we're here every single third Monday at 9 o'clock. You can see us on Facebook and on the Freethinkers Radio and YouTube. So please continue to watch us every third Monday. Tell everybody, share it, and support our sponsors. So until next time, I'm Tameika.
And I'm Jamie.
And
we are the
Devines.
Devines.